Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for The Real Sports Talking. Hit me up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST, and you can also like The Real Sports Talk on Facebook. Look, if you told me that the Thunder were going to come back and take a 3-2 lead in the Western Conference Finals, I might have said, I don't see that happening, but it's possible. If you told me that the Boston Celtics were going to come back and take a 3-2 lead on the Miami Heat, I wouldn't have believed you. And yet, here we are, the two teams that started the conference finals down 2-0 are now up 3-2, and we are one win away by each team of seeing a Boston Celtics versus Oklahoma City Thunder NBA Finals as the Celtics win Game 5, the first road win in this series, 94-90, after some clutch threes from Michael Petrus, Paul Pierce, and then some clutch free throw shooting from Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. And, late in this game, we saw Dwayne Wade have a huge fourth quarter. LeBron James had a pretty big fourth quarter as well. They both were over 10 points in this fourth quarter. And late in this game, it wasn't enough. Udonis Haslem missed that big free throw. You can't do that. And defensively, LeBron James just gave Paul Pierce way too much space on that three. I don't know if it's because he was trying to make sure he couldn't drive and dish or anything like that, because that's what they had been doing. They've been driving, and then Petrus would be wide open in the corner, and they dished him. I don't know if he was afraid of that, if he was nervous. I really don't know what he's doing, but the bottom line is he's one of the best defenders in the NBA, and he made a lazy defensive play there. I think that's the best way to put it. Let me recap this game, go through some stats, give you my thoughts on Game 6 and where this series goes from here. Wade has a quick start, but then kind of fizzles out as the first quarter goes on. LeBron James finishes the first quarter, and both end up with 7 points. Wade had like 5 in the first few minutes. Chris Bosh makes his anticipated return, and he made a big impact in that first quarter. You could see that just the fact that you had another big body out there, he was offensively making an impact. I think he did more today than a lot of people expected. Rondo early on got in a little foul trouble. He got 2 quick fouls, so throughout the first quarter and the first half, he had to play a little bit more hesitant to make sure that late in this game, he was not in foul trouble, and he did a very good job of that because it really did not come into play at the end of this game. Boston did get close towards the end of the second quarter. It's a 42-40 game at halftime, and a game that the Celtics went on a run really to end the second quarter. And I saw this, and I know this is off the beaten track, at halftime. Abraham Lincoln versus Vampires. Am I being punked with this one, or is this actually a movie? Let me know in the comments on that one. Back to the NBA playoffs. Boston ends the third quarter on a 15-point run capped off by 2 huge threes. The three ball is really what killed the Miami Heat, allowing the Celtics to get those open looks, and they just did not miss those shots today. Kevin Garnett is not missing those jumpers. He hasn't done it at all in the playoffs. Since he was called out, he's gone on fire, and he mentioned it to Doris Burke after this game, how he takes a lot of pride in his craft, and when someone tells him at age 35 that he can't do it anymore, that only motivates him to want to go out and do it better, and that's what he's done throughout these entire NBA playoffs. In the fourth quarter, Wade ends up with 14 points, LeBron James ends up with 12 points, and I'm going to get to Dwayne Wade in a second, because as well as he played in the fourth quarter, I think he's kind of leaving the Heat out to dry earlier on in this game when he is not making enough of an impact. I know that we get on LeBron sometimes for the fourth quarter performance, but earlier on in these games, you can put some of these games away. If Dwayne Wade puts in 5 points in the second quarter instead of the 0 that he had, then you're not in this situation later on in the game, and instead, you're in a rough situation later on in this game, and you ultimately end up losing this game. Kevin Garnett, as I mentioned, his jumper is just a thing of beauty. Michael Petrus, late with these threes, just absolutely kills it. Then Paul Pierce hits the dagger to go up 90-86, and I say the dagger, but it's what put them up for good, what really gave them the lead. And although the Heat did fight back, they certainly didn't roll over after that. It just was not enough. Udonis Haslem got a chance, misses 1 or 2 free throws, and as I mentioned, Paul Pierce goes on to hit that 3. Then there's a huge controversial out-of-bounds play, and I know on TV Mike Breen said that he believed it was off Udonis Haslem. I thought, from what I saw, that it went off Udonis Haslem, and then Rajon Rondo's ring finger touched it. That was what I thought. I certainly can't blame the refs for not overturning the call because it was really a tough call. This is not one of those games where I look at and say that the refs were biased towards Miami, because throughout this game the Celtics got a few charge calls. There certainly were some block calls as well, but the charges and everything, the refs did a nice job in this game, and Joey Crawford wasn't out there, so that's always a positive. Finally, Ray Allen gets in the point where he hits those 2 big free throws. Down 4, LeBron James drives, gets them to within 2 with a huge layup. And it's funny at this point. You give LeBron James credit for making that, but where is that when you just need to win the game? Why don't you just, instead of settling for jumpers, why don't you just drive like that when you need to win a game? Maybe it's because it opened up here because no one was anticipating him to drive. I thought LeBron or Wade is going to take a 3 here, and I was surprised to see how quickly LeBron James cut through, got a wide open layup, or that wasn't wide open, it was contested, but he makes a nice finger roll, does a nice job, then they foul, and KG hits the 2 clutch free throws, and from there, that was pretty much it. They can't hit a 3, and then Kevin Garnett gets a rebound, chucks it down to Keon Dooling, and the Boston Celtics, a team that at the trade deadline was talking about trading Rajon Rondo, a team, I'm a Sixers fan. There is no way in hell the Sixers should have been 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Finals with the talent level on that team. And they almost beat the Boston Celtics. Yet the Celtics are coming through right now, and they're going to beat the Miami Heat. They're 1 game away from beating the Miami Heat. It's incredible. They have got a lot of guys stepping up, and that's what the Heat do not have. Mario Chalmers did play well later on in this game, but they just don't have these guys stepping up the way that the Celtics do. Keon Dooling, Brandon Bass has stepped up throughout the playoffs. And then you get Michael Petrus today with 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. Just a huge game for him. KG tonight, 26 points, 11 of 20 shooting, 11 rebounds. If they're going to play a team, especially like the Spurs, then he's going to have to play a little bit more in the post. But against the Heat, who don't really have a dominant, necessarily center, then, or even really a power forward, because I wouldn't consider Chris Bosh too much power, then he can continue to take these shots. Ray Allen struggles throughout the game. 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 4 from the threes, but those 8 of 8 from the free throws is what won them this game. 7 rebounds, 13 total points. Paul Pierce, 6 of 19 shooting. He struggled shooting a lot in these playoffs. 2 of 5 from downtown, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. But I go back to that 2 of 5 from downtown, and that 1-3 was really what won them this game. That and some clutch free throws late from Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. 19 points. Brandon Bass chips in 10. Rondo only has 7 points, but still chips in 13 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 steals. Did turn the ball over 5 times, but the Celtics as a team did not turn the ball over nearly as much as you will see most teams do tonight, and that was one of the reasons they were successful in this game. The Heat had 3 more turnovers, and they lost by almost 3 points. Mario Chalmers, 9 points for the Heat, 3 of 7 from the field. Did hit a nice clutch free throw, or three-pointer, I should say. LeBron James, 11 of 25, 2 of 6, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. The list goes on. 2 steals, 1 block. Nothing goes on him for me. I really don't put it on LeBron James. He played every minute of this game, I believe, except like the last 2 minutes of the first half. He played really well in the fourth quarter. There's not a lot negative I can say about LeBron James. Dwayne Wade, 10 of 22 shooting. It looks great. And I give a lot of credit. He had a great fourth quarter. That one layup he had was incredible. You got to play better in the first half, though. People want to get on LeBron James for the fourth quarter, and this is why I say people that say, when it matters in the fourth quarter. Guess what? It matters the entire game, because you can put a team away in the second half. Or second quarter. Dwayne Wade can hit 5 or 6 points in the second quarter, and then the fourth quarter, you win by 7 or 8 points. And Dwayne Wade did not do that today. He's got to step up in this first half. The last 3 games, he's had a combined total of like 17 points in the second quarter. That's been the quarter that's killed them. Later on in these quarters, they continue to sit LeBron, and if Dwayne Wade was playing well later on in these quarters, it wouldn't really be an issue. But as they continue to sit LeBron James, then they give up. They allow the team to get close, I should say. Dwayne Wade is not there to score, and they don't have another dominant scorer on this team, at least not the way with how Chris Bosh is. 9.7 rebounds, 3 of 8 shooting. valiant effort for him. 7 rebounds. I mean, I'll give him a lot of credit for coming in and playing this game. Norris Cole played pitiful in this game, I should say. 2 assists, 2 steals, yeah, but 0 points. So 0-4 from the field, and from beyond the arc, 0 of 2. 4 points from James Jones and 3 points from Mike Miller. The Heat's role players have been extremely inconsistent. Shane Battier today was not. He had 5 points. When he's hitting those threes, they win the games. But Udonis Haslem struggled. 14 rebounds. That's great. Don't get me wrong on that part. But 1 of 5 from the field. Offensively, there just is not that other guy to carry the load. And if a team's going to score 90, almost 95 or above, the chances of Heat winning right now are just not very good. Defensively, they need to hold them down. And without Chris Bosh, LeBron's going from the post out to the perimeter. And defensively, they just could not do enough to shut them down. The Boston Celtics, should give a lot of props to them. They are 1 win away from going to the NBA Finals for the 3rd time in the Big 3 era.